Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this episode I am going to be manufacturing some new clacks for the Thomas 2 locomotive resto mod here at the Steam Workshop. Now these are the original ones which you can see on screen now. They were terrible, for want of a better word. The threads on them were all mismatched. The threading onto the actual pipe fittings on the bottom of the clack was a weird size, something like half inch 12.5 or something daft. They really didn't match the nuts that went onto. It was half inch 26 on the nut, so yeah, I really don't know what happened there. The boiler fittings, they were smooth on the outside. The only way you could get them off really was to put an adjustable span around the body of them, and yeah, it ended up grenading, so turning into multiple pieces. And yeah, idea was made to make some new ones, a lot stronger. So I drew up what you can see here on the screen. Everything's a lot chunkier. Everything's got hexes on it as well, so there's a big hex on the shank which enters the boiler, as big as possible, really, using materials available to us. A nice hex on the top of the clack so it can be serviced. In this drawing here I actually put a ball on it, but I do end up going onto a shuttle valve which John kind of made for me. But yeah, it's just not really going off a design, just designing it on the fly as I go along, doing what I think looks nice. It's a big chunky engine, so it needs some big chunky clacks making. Here I start in the lathe with some raw PB1 bronze. Yeah, so it's a PB1 bronze, and I'm turning it down to basically just get a nice smooth finish to start with on the material, so I can then maximise the size of the body of the clack that I'm going to be making. I'm probably not going to teach you how to make these. I was originally thinking that I would do this as a little bit of an instructional video, but I'm no expert. I'm an engineer at the Steam Workshop. I'm completely self-taught in everything. Well, I say self-taught. John's taught me a hell of a lot. But yeah, I'd never really go by the book on things. I just try and invent things as I go along, and use John as my mentor and advisor all the way through things. He helps me out massively. Thanks a lot, John. Now, what I'm finding at the moment is I am gathering a hell of a lot of footage. This project is long out the door. The last project I've done, which was the Romulus Resto mod, that I did a video series on, and basically every day when I did the work, I came home, edited the video, and got that up. Now, what has happened since then, I've taken a little bit of a break from editing videos because it was starting to become a bit of a chore, and I'm finding it quite difficult to get back in the groove. And now I've probably got too much video footage ready to go. I've got 2 more projects running at the moment, 2 pretty big projects, and I want to be able to do those projects justice in decent videos. I'm wanting to try out some new software as well, so a little bit more learning going on, and hopefully over the Christmas New Year period I'll get some more editing done, do some more learning, and yeah, hopefully start cranking out the new project videos. Yeah, really looking forward to those. But yeah, this is just me machining clacks. It's quite a simple process. It's just lots of rinsing and repeating because I'm making 2 of them. I make everything twice, and I'm really, really working hard on being accurate with everything. It's something I'm constantly trying to do. When I'm making 2 of things, they've got to be the same. And it does take a lot of practice, and I get the opportunity at the Steam Workshop to practice plenty, and hopefully not messing up too often and ruining what can be quite expensive material to play with. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do for the rest of the video here is I'm just going to play some music. I might interject when it gets to an important phase, but yeah, it's just predominantly just machining. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, and there we have it. I've done the first stage of machining, where I've machined up the body. As you can see, I'm placing it on the picture there. This is the spigot that goes into the boiler, and then there's the body of the clack and the cap for it. And yeah, they just basically slot together. They're going to get silver soldered up and then further machined at a later date. Yeah, I also have to go back and drill out all the bores on everything. But yeah, I machine all the bodies up and get them all soldered up on one day, and I think it was maybe a couple of weeks after, because we had a lot of work on at the time, before I actually got John to assist me and make up some internals for these clacks, prior to getting them onto the locomotive, and also prior to getting the locomotive into steam. But yeah, carry on enjoying the video. Okay, so showing you here roughly what the original clacks look like when they're on the boiler, and then yeah, you basically snap the outside off and have to get the mole grips and pull out the other half. Yeah, so that's where they will be living on the boiler. Just take this old one off and I'll show you the new one going on. Now the new one, it's a really tight fit on the thread, so it's nice brand new threading, so you've just got to get it in the right position before you can thread it in. And it threads in lovely, nice copper washer in behind that, a nice little bit of sealant on the threads as well, and that will live there just like that. The internals, as I say, made at a later date by John at the Steam Workshop, and I'll show you that in a second. And here they are. Yep, so I take the top cap off here, and it's got a tapered piston on the end of it. It's got a tapered seat with a O-ring fitted. It's a tapered fitting with a tapered seat inside the bottom of the clack, and the top of the valve slides in the cap, which basically keeps it tracking in line with the hole. Now we've used these a few times on clacks, and they work phenomenally well. They always seal. Well, say always, they nearly always seal. Every now and again you do get a little bit of crud stuck under the O-ring, but it's not the end of the world. Easy to disassemble. Here I'm just using a bit of the Loctite 542 prior to screwing the threads in. Don't need any copper washer here, don't need any PTFE tape, just a little bit of Loctite. That seals the threads up. It's such a good threaded fit anyway. And nip it down with a correctly sized spanner. Everything has been done in imperial, so I've got a 3/4 on the spigot going into the boiler and a 7/16 on the cap. Again, see the valve there, into the seat. So a little bit of Loctite on the threads and nip it all up again. And maybe I'm just a bit biased, but I think they look absolutely fantastic on the locomotive. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.